PhD. One day you will write books. One day commercials. One day the impossible, you will laugh at the impossible. You will look at the impossible and go, what was I thinking?
Hello, my spoiler alert friends. Thank you guys for joining me. So today was a good day. I got to spend time with my family, got to listen to a good sermon. And we had our guest speaker from Texas came back up. He gave a sermon today. Thank you to him for joining us. But the thing that I wanted to talk about, so this week I've had a lot of like light bulb moments where it's like, oh my goodness, ding, 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 ding. Crazy how it happens. You know, you spend so much time in the word and you still sometimes you still get these revelation moments where you're like, oh, you feel like an idiot. Like, why didn't I notice this before? But today, the one of them that I want to talk about in particular happened today in the sermon. So my pastor, he had mentioned how sin is like a stain. Sin, nobody wants to talk about sin. It's like a stain and nobody wants to talk about it. It's ugly and all these things. And when he said that, it triggered a thought in my mind. And I was like, oh my goodness, I never thought of it this way. But so here's the imagery that I got after he said this. So I don't know, not everybody has kids or whatever, but I'm someone who has children and they make messes. And even if you're not, say you're somebody who has a pet or you work in the hospital like I do, or, you do all kinds of things, right? Messes occur in life. And when the lights are out, you don't notice those messes as well as when the lights are on. So the imagery that came into my mind was when three things came to my mind. So I'm going to share each of them with you. So one of them was, you have a spill on your carpet at night. Maybe you had a soda or something, I don't know, whatever you're drinking, and it spilled. You're blotting it up. It's dark. You get a napkin, you're blotting it up. You're like, man, you know it's not good, but you don't know how bad it is because it's dark. You're dark in the room. It's nighttime. You're like, I'm just trying to get this soaked up. It's only once you turn on the light that you're like, oh, wow, this is like a huge stain on this nice rug that I have. And then another example that came to my mind was being in the hospital. And, when the patient has their lights out and you don't want to turn on the lights to disturb them, you go into the room and you're checking the patient out and then you smell, you're like, it smells like maybe there's like some urine, maybe there's some feces. It just doesn't smell right. It's not, you can't tell that there's a bunch of stuff going on, but it doesn't seem right. And then you turn on the lights and then there's poop all over the bed or urine or blood, or it's like, oh my gosh, this is a terrible mess. We need to get this cleaned up. And then for people who might be a little bit younger, where you're still going out doing the party scene, you're at a party, you're dancing with somebody, and then, the lights are out. So everything's all good. And then once they turn that light on, you realize you've been dancing with an orc. So it's all of these are the same imagery that came to my mind with our relationship with God, right? So when we're far away from God, it's dark. We don't have his light illuminating us. So when we're in sin, we don't really notice, you might feel like this doesn't seem exactly right, but it's not all that bad. It's not as bad as what you think it could be, right? So you're just in it. You're doing your thing. And then once you start to draw near to God, things start to illuminate. Light enters your world. And then you see, oh my gosh, I've been in this filth, this nasty, this sin, this entire time. Yikes. You know what I mean? That's the feeling you get. And I just thought it was really, really cool. I don't know that that's what the pastor was trying to get through, but that's what came into my head when he said that. And I'm like, it's true. We don't always know how bad the sin is until you get close to God and you realize, oh no, this literally devastates him when we do X, Y, Z. So hopefully that can maybe make you think about some of the things you're doing. I know it's definitely making me do some heavy reflecting inside of me. Like, you know, these little messes that I think, oh, not a big deal, or it's probably not that bad. Once you start to spend more time in the Word and get closer to God, you realize, nah, this is pretty bad. So I don't say any of this to discourage anyone. I'm only saying this to uplift you, give you motivation, courage to face those things, face the mess. We got a stain on the rug. We got to clean it up. And in terms of our faith, the way to clean it up is getting closer to God. That's how we clean it up. And messes are going to happen. Sin is going to happen. We're human. That's just a part of the process. But when we're closer to God, we got the OxyClean or the Miss Messy Mouth or, you know, whatever cleaning supplies you use. We got that right here on deck. Whereas when you're not with God, it's like, well, I have no tools. I am in some third world slum country where I don't have anything and don't have any resources. And now I just have to sit in it. So hopefully this gives you guys some encouragement. It's definitely giving me encouragement. So I wanted to share it. Thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you next time.
One thing I know is that I'm going up. It's the only way to go.